Welcome to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show. I'm Keith Moehle, glad to be with you. And thank you for recommending us to your friends. We appreciate all you listeners, and many of you have told others about the show and about what we believe in and what we talk about here, and get really some nice comments. So we appreciate all that, and you can join in and tell us hi at 737-1200. I'm here with Morgan.
Yes, hello everybody. You can also look us up on Facebook. We're live. We're live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search KM Builders and you'll find us.
And so we'll take your calls live at 737-1200, or just you want to chat, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. And again, thank you for all the fine referrals. We get comments like, you should call this guy on the radio. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Or he sounds like he cares a lot about people. So it is true. And so far we haven't disappointed when we go out there and talk to the people. And I know there's one client that I've got to clarify some things that he said he heard on the radio. And so we did some research about what we said on the radio regarding LVP flooring, and I'm going to give you a call this week. You can call me personally at 889-5626 if you want to, and we'll get in touch. But so we always try to shoot straight, and we do that, and we're going to always follow up with what we say as well. We are going to talk today about anything you want to talk about, but of course we always have a subject in mind that we can keep focused on, and it has to do with small bathroom remodeling tips. Now, the last cost versus value Harvard study shows that in San Antonio they're getting over 90% return on investment in a small bathroom. So small bathroom is one of the highest rated return on investment projects in the U.S. and here in San Antonio locally. That Harvard study is not paid for by any contractors or any remodelers. So it is a really good study. It's based on real factual information in the market from what people have remodeled and what they've sold when they actually sold their homes. And so that's a really good sign for San Antonio's economy, that we're even higher than Austin in that area, in that particular category at least. And that's a good little indicator of how many times people would like to remodel, and it's just growing and growing. Let's go ahead and take our first caller if you're ready there. Is it Paul back there? No. Who's out there today? I didn't get to meet you. And is the call ready? Okay, we're ready to go. Karen from Dripping Springs, let's go ahead and talk to you.
Brick on a house that is, been built for many years.
Okay.
And there's some question about painting it, that the house won't breathe or whatever, and I just wanted to know your take on it.
Okay, no, we've done that. We've got a project right now where we did paint the brick. What you have to be, what we have to be careful about is brick getting moisture from the backside. And what we're doing here is sealing up a brick, and you have to have special primers that seal the surfaces of the brick and really let the paint bond. Now, anybody can paint brick, but it doesn't mean it's going to stick. So it does take a professional to do painting a brick, or at least some really good research and following through on the details. Some brick is harder to paint than others because it has a really chalky surface to it. Most brick, however, is very suitable. Clay brick works really well, and many concrete brick work really well. You don't have to worry about it. What did you say? What was the term you called it?
Just getting water, moisture in the house.
Right. Okay. So the brick is like a lot of surfaces that does breathe a little bit because even when you cover the front side of brick, just like siding, Karen, you're not sealing the entire surface of the brick because the backside is still open to air. There's an air cavity between the brick and your wall. No, the brick is not really attached to directly on the wall. It has little standouts called brick ties that leave about an inch and a half gap, an inch to an inch and a half gap between the wall and the brick. And so it is true that brick can condensate, and it should have moisture. Very often will travel along the back side of the brick. It will go all the way to the bottom, and that's why you want to look and make sure that no one's closed up those weep holes, and there are little openings down at the bottom of your brick and between the mortar joints.
paint and primer, you say?
Oh yeah, there's Sherwin-Williams and other major paint companies will give you good advice on what, and it's good to use their system and have them involved in that and saying this will work or this will not work. They'll do it for homeowners, they'll do it for contractors. Typically it's a contractor job to do all this right. But yeah, you can seal that brick. It's a really nice look in many cases. It does make the home look a little more modern. We just did a beautiful example of that. It'll be on our blog. And it is nothing wrong with, you're not gonna have to worry about moisture coming in the home. If anything, it's gonna reduce moisture getting into the home because the brick will not accept moisture like it did before from the front side.
Oh, okay. Okay. The main thing is to make sure that it has a little weep holes open at the bottom.
That is correct, Karen. The weep holes are actually gaps between the bricks that were not filled with mortar. That's what your mortar gap that used to, normally you would think, hey, they didn't mortar this up. But it's actually so the moisture, if you get any moisture, condensation on the back of a bricks, which can happen especially on taller walls, that moisture is supposed to roll out the bottom and it will not get into the house if it was done correctly.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate your information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. That was a great question. You have a great day. So let's talk about one thing that we always like to talk about at the beginning is be aware. Be aware. We have the lame contractor of the week. Were you going to handle that? I saw this on the news, by the way. It was on Channel 4.
Mm-hmm. He was arrested Wednesday after the San Antonio police said that he stole $36,000 from an elderly man by failing to perform promised work on his home. So you saw it?
Yeah, the guy was he was sad. It was a 79-year-old man, and this guy just kept on getting more money, getting the homeowner to get USAA out there to find more work that needed to be done. Evidently there was some legitimacy to it, but in the long run, the more that the man kept getting from USA and the more checks this man kept getting, the more that he actually owes the homeowner now. So now there's $30,000 to replace his roof, and $6,000 more from the gutters, and all this stuff is not being completed. It's just leaving this guy high and dry, the homeowner, Mr. Cisneros. But Mr. Cisneros is the one that
Was charged.
Yeah. His name was Juan Gabriel Cisneros, and I didn't get the name of his company though. I cannot remember the name of his company. We should know that, right?
It doesn't have it on the news report that
I don't remember hearing it either. But just make sure you know who's doing your business. Again, big payments, very scary. If you don't know your contractor, it's even more, because this can leave you high and dry. Now, USA is not going to pay the homeowner, the 79-year-old homeowner, any more money. They've given him what they were supposed to.
Yeah, so that's a bad situation.
It really is. Yeah, it's sad. So we're warning everybody there. Get more than one estimate. Get a good contractor to do it, and almost anything that a contractor is doing, KM Builders can give you another bid for that. So if you'd like to, give us a call at 680-5626, and you can look us up at kmbuilders.com. We'll give you a price on all that. We do roofing, we do siding, we do repairs, so don't be afraid to get a good contractor out there to give you something comparable to compare to. Even if you don't use this, you'll get an education. So we'll go ahead and take a little break here, and we're going to come back to our subject of tips for small bathroom remodels when we get back to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show.
And now, the worst commercial ever.
I'm just your average, everyday, hard-working plumber. But when it comes to my business...
Hi.
Sorry, I'm not dressed professionally, so I'm trying to stay behind the desk.
What's that?
I'm not dressed professionally at all, so.
Oh, we were going to put you on camera.
Oh, no, it's too casual today. My name is Gabriel, by the way.
Gabriel, yeah.
Sorry, Paul trained me once for this shift, but I think it was the day when both of you guys had canceled. So I'm like, okay. And
Yeah, the only thing I need from you, as you can hear me winding down, it's going to be like every 15 minutes on
Okay.
almost right at 15 minutes.
Yeah, because the breaks are sometimes are marked different from what you guys actually take. That was marked 11, so I wasn't sure if that was right. So
Oh, no,
but yeah,
no.
so okay.
I'm
So
gonna do it at 15 and then 30 and 45.
Okay, so you know when to come in. Okay, so
Yeah, and
that's
you'll
fine.
hear me saying, when we get back to the KM Builders Remodeling Design Show, that's your cue, and it gives you, at least a few seconds to figure out that I'm about to do it. We'll be looking right around 15, unless I'm in the middle of a phone call or something.
Yeah, okay, but otherwise, okay.
Yeah.
You don't need any help with
And
that.
then,
Yeah.
what about your wrap-up music at the end?
Yeah, the wrap-up music at the end, I like you to start it, when I'm supposed to be off.
Yeah, there's
And
times
start it
marked for
exactly
those.
1 minute before, and just build it up real slowly.
At the
I'll hear
very
it-
end?
I'll hear it, and then when it gets to be past 30 seconds, you can raise it up a little more. And I'll once it hits, I'm gonna use almost the whole minute, so don't go
Okay.
too loud on me till 45, 50 seconds.
Gotcha.
50
Yeah.
seconds, because I'm watching it just like you are, but I'm using your turn on,
But
And
that's
I'll-
only
and
on
I'll-
the last segment.
on
Yeah,
the last
oh, yeah,
segment,
definitely.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any music to come back to the show with?
Yeah, usually it's built in, sometimes I play it off YouTube.
Okay.
Which I use
Okay.
sometimes, but it's
All right.
So, okay, just
That's
making
what I'm
sure.
looking for, it makes it a little smoother when there's music.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Gabriel, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
You seen that commercial?
Oh my.
She slid off the hood, she fell off.
Little fires everywhere. That's on my book list to read.
What's that?
The book that was on there, listening. That's how I listen to my books. It's so easy.
Welcome back to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show, and we are taking your calls live at 737-1200. 1-800-383-WOAI is the other one. That's 1-800-383-WOAI or 737-1200 is the local number. Of course, that's a 210 prefix. Everybody has to dial that these days.
We ran out of numbers.
So 210-737-1200 is a good one for you. And we'd love to take your calls, just like we had a nice call from Karen. It's always fun to answer questions. And it's quite common. Don't feel embarrassed if I tell you something different than what you've heard. And I promise you, I can back up what I'm telling you. If I'm telling you that it could go one way or the other, then it could. But if I'm telling you that's wrong, you can bet that it is wrong, what you've heard. And there's reasons why people say what they say. They've seen maybe some unusual circumstances or things built wrong that did not perform right. But when it's done right, we're going to give you that. We're going to give you that way. That's the way we're going to talk about it.
And you can also look us up on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and just search for KM Builders. We're live there. We're taking your questions. We've got some people watching, so that's nice.
Well, hi to everybody watching. Do you think they could learn anything from our videos, Morgan?
Our vlogs.
Videos of our different projects?
Definitely. We have a finished one that we just finished shooting on Friday, so that was really exciting. There's a total room transformation, or a whole house transformation. They'll be able to see the brick that we painted.
That's right. The
On
brick
that
was
one.
painted. We even pointed out specifically. So that
Modern.
it really does make a whole big difference. And whenever you see the before and afters of these projects too, it makes a big difference. Really good job getting out there and taking professional photos. We always have the before photos because before we design a project, we go out there and we take all these or more of
And
a
you use
project.
that to be able to build off of,
Right,
right?
to design.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives us all our specifics. We can see where a plug is, where a drain was. We put all that into AutoCAD.
What the floor transfers look like.
Exactly. All these little details can be captured in most of the photos and measurements.
Mhm.
And then we put that information, we capture it. But it makes a great opportunity to show people the transformation as well.
Yeah, so it's nice because I always have before photos.
I didn't get the Hellcat in the right spot, or I just missed, or it just keeps moving. I can't figure it out.
If you're watching live, you just saw Dad peek way over into the window. He keeps trying to park his car in the shadow of the billboard.
Maybe there was a cloud when I parked it and I couldn't find it very well, because I'd sure missed it, that's for
Oh
sure.
my goodness.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it nice and cool for me, but yeah, maybe it just moves, because the sun moves that fast. But anyway, so yeah, we really do have a lot of good, helpful tips, and that was the whole reason this show was started. And a lot of you have called in over the years, and we appreciate it. Just like Bobby, who's calling in now, we're gonna go ahead and take Bobby on the phone call. Hey, Bobby, how can we help you?
Hey, how you doing? Listen, I live in New Braunfels, close to Garden Ridge, and our homeowners association is very sticky about sheds and outbuildings and that sort of thing. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to build a shed that looks similar to our home. As a matter of fact, our restrictive covenants make it that you have to have the same kind of exterior finish. The windows need to be similar to what you have on your home. The roofing needs to be of the same kind of material. And in order to get it approved, you got to submit a package that has representative drawings of what this looks like. Is this the kind of work that you guys would be able to do?
Absolutely. That's one thing we've gotten a lot of compliments on, Bobby, is that homeowners associations have told us we've never seen a package this complete. And the good news for you is, Bobby, they're probably very likely to be confident about the way that you're doing this once they see the details, and they're probably going to give you an easy approval. We never get turned down.
Okay, good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Originally I thought I could go and get a tough shed and, pour a pad and put that thing on there, and then when I submitted my application, it was down flat and called out all the different rules and regulations that we need to abide by. So I'd rather have it, and it has to be stick built. So you guys did that. Sounds like you do a good job with it. How do I get a hold of you guys?
Well, thank you for asking. That number's 210-680-5626. If you happen to be driving, just remember KM Builders, and I'm going to give you a funny way to remember. Just remember, Kick Me Builders. so that way the letters don't sound like something else. Kick Me Builders, KM Builders, and you can actually ask for a quote right online there. Bobby, thanks for calling the show, and I'd love to meet you. I'll be talking to you. Having time for one more caller, Jeff from San Antonio. How can we help you, Jeff?
Yeah, I had a real basic question about attic fans, the turbines.
Great. What are you interested in putting some on, or you're interested in taking them off?
Well, I have some already, and looking at mine, they're not spinning. My neighbors are spinning, but I wonder if I need to try to lubricate them or replace them.
Okay.
For other airflow, ventilation things.
Yeah, that's the first thing that usually happens. Can I ask you how old they are?
Oh, I just moved into the place, but I assume they're about, pretty old, 10, 15 years old.
Okay, so yeah, if you can get up there and move them easily, if they move easily with your hand, then that's probably means that you're not getting enough airflow. And that means that you're paying way too much for your utility bills. And of course, there's two ways that air comes into those attics, and you may have the gable vents, which are on the side of the roofs. And then of course, the best ventilation that you could get, Jeff, is to have that ventilation coming in from the eaves, the overhangs. And you want enough so that you get a good amount, about at least a 12 by 8-inch hole every 8 feet. And of course, you can spread that out over a vent strip system. And that's what's going to get that attic a lot cooler. Bring it in from the eaves where it's cooler, and then it goes all the way up and pulls all that air out, and keeps refreshing all that air into the attic and pulling it out the very top of your roof. Now I would not recommend, you know, putting in more of them or anything like that. I would recommend that you get ridge venting installed. We can do that for you, or if you can have a roofer do that. Ridge venting is relatively easy to install, but it is much more effective. Of course, assuming that you do have the proper eave venting, it's much more effective at removing it. Those little vents, those little turbines, do not have enough square footage in them, square inches, to remove the right amount of air from your attic. And so you want to increase that airflow by getting ridge venting. If you have that type of roof, you have a long point at the top that goes runs along the house, a peak.
My slope wasn't steep enough for ridge vent, so I was like, wow, I didn't know that there had to be a certain slope or steepness to the roof.
Yeah, that's rare. That's rare. I guess you have an almost flat roof.
No, but it's got a little bit of a slope, but I don't know what it needs to be for a ridge vent.
Okay, well, we need to look at that, and he might be talking about the reason might be because there's no attic space in that roof. If there's no attic space, that might be the reason he's saying it, because there's nothing for the attic to flow through. But that would be the only reason I could see it on a normal. If you have shingles on it, regular shingles, then it's steep enough for a ridge vent.
Oh, okay.
Do you have regular shingles on your roof?
Yeah, asphalt.
Okay, well then, yeah, you can get ridge venting, but he may be thinking of it for another reason, or he might just be wrong. Believe it or not, some of these guys are actually wrong once in a while.
Yeah.
So sometimes they don't want to do the job, and they want to sell you something else, like they like doing turbines or something like that. But again, like I tell people, don't be surprised if I tell you that somebody told you something wrong, because it does happen a lot in this business. We don't care what people want. We're going to tell them what they should have, and then they can decide whether they want it or not. But I'm always going to tell people what they need to hear. Sometimes it's not what they want to hear, but it is what they need to hear. And I think in your case, you probably need good eave venting and good ridge venting, both, and you'll probably see a drastic improvement in your heating and cooling bills.
Right, my next step, I need to check my insulation. I've already peeked up there, and it looks like it needs some work.
Okay, well, why don't you do this? Give me a call at 680-5626, or look us up at kmbuilders.com, or you can remember our phone number at 680-KMCO, KMCO. And if you do that, we'll give you bids on all that stuff. I'll have Scott come out there with me, and we'll look at radiant barrier, we'll look at insulation, and these things are really inexpensive to do. We'll look at ridge venting, and we'll look at eave venting. And there's very few companies who can really do a good job at all of those. Most of them don't have carpenters. Most of these roofing teams do not have carpenters like we do. And most of these insulation companies can't do ridge venting, or they don't do one of the other products that you might need. Now, sometimes in addition to that, I'm going to recommend that if we do that, the ridge turbines should be closed off. And then the second thing, if you have gable vents on the ends, those should be closed off too. And I'll explain to you all the reasons why you're going to get more performance out of these new products, which are relatively inexpensive. And they're going to start paying you back right away. It'll only take a few years to get your payback on that. Okay.
All right, should I call today or Monday?
Yeah, you can leave a message today, 680-5626, and just maybe follow up on Monday in case that phone machine was loaded up for some reason. I know we did get a new system, and I can't swear that it's working perfectly yet. We've been working on it.
Okay.
Give it a shot though, and thank you so much for the call, Jeff. I look forward to meeting you.
All right, thank you.
All right, and we're gonna go ahead and take a break here for the news, and we're gonna just recommend you go to Billy's Western Wear if you have any time this weekend. Stop off at Billy's, tell my friend over there, Mr. White, I said hi. Be sure and tell him that I told you about his store, but it is incredible. Or look him up at billyswesternwear.com. We'll be right back to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show.
This is News Radio.
Love it when we get those callers.
Yeah, summer's probably over and now people are less busy. You know. Probably gonna be
Because it makes me feel
calmer,
like people are
not
more
out
listening
of
more.
town. I know,
But I know a lot of people have, they enjoy those calls.
Mhm. I
'Cause
think
they think, oh yeah, I was wondering that about my house.
Mhm. But probably a lot of people go on vacation, you know, in the summertime, and there's just so much to do. They're at the lake.
Oh yeah.
We got a bug zapper.
You did?
Yes, and it has killed like 20 mosquitoes. It is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Your
Really.
little porch? Your
No,
little
it has to
patio?
be inside. There's mosquitoes inside our apartment because they just hang out at the doorways.
Ah.
And
Where'd you put it, in the living room?
I
mean,
put
in the
it in
kitchen?
the bathroom
Mm.
because that's where they would all hang out in the humidity, and just plug it in. And in
Where's it?
one day,
On a plug?
yeah, you have to plug it in, so it's just
No.
sitting on the counter.
It sits on a counter.
Yeah, and you can see them dead on there.
That was fun.
It's not a zapper. It's like it is a zapper, but it gives off like a UV light that they're attracted to. So they go in and.
Nice. Every home should have that, right?
Oh my goodness! I really think y'all should get it because y'all have mosquitoes coming into
Through the front door.
through the front
I think
door.
I'm just gonna put one there on the front porch.
Yeah, that would if you could.
Uh-huh.
The thing is you need to be have an outlet.
We have one.
Oh, okay. Then that works.
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, it
Where'd
is
you get yours?
Amazon. In the middle of the night, I woke up because I got bit. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to a huge whelp, and I just immediately rolled over, went on Amazon, found the one that had the best reviews, $20, had it shipped next day. No longer waking up to those mosquitoes. Jared's like, there's really none in here. He was so impressed because I don't know what he thought it was gonna do, but when I was like, well, he was like, I don't know if this thing's gonna work, and then I said, look at it, one day, look at all these mosquitoes, and he looks, oh my goodness.
One day.
Yeah. It really only works at night though because you have to have the light really showing, because when it's bright inside, but all day I left all the blinds closed so that way it was at least a little bit dark in there. It was funny.
You left it because you made it dark so they
Yeah,
would want to
so
come?
it would, so it would work, so that they would be, the blue
Attracted.
light, the light would be very like, obvious. What's this song? Huh?
Maureen thing.
Oh. Are we gonna do the testimonial? Since we weren't able to.
Welcome to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show. We're back with you with a little CCR, thanks to Gabriel on the other side there. So we are going to start off again reminding you, you can give us a call like our other great callers at 737-1200. I'm here with Morgan, and Morgan's going to do our first segment of after our news break that we usually do.
Yes, well, we didn't get to do it because we had so many callers.
Oh, that's what it was.
But also want to remind everyone that you can watch us live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching KM Builders. And we are doing our client testimonial. So we just got a really nice review last week by our...
And where did that review post?
Well, we got it on Facebook, YouTube, or we got it on Facebook, Better Business Bureau, and Yelp.
That's nice. That's
Mhm.
really nice.
Yeah, so this one I pulled from the Better Business Bureau, and it says, KM Builders provided outstanding service for a major home remodel. We had them, and so we did basically the entire downstairs for
Mhm.
them.
And we have a video log of that one.
Mm-hmm. So that one will be coming out in a couple of weeks. We'll be able to start releasing those videos.
The Ferris, just so
Mhm.
everybody remembers.
Yes. And so they said, we had them remove all popcorn ceiling throughout the home, install new flooring, complete kitchen, master bath, bedroom, and dining room remodel. Their design team provided excellent concepts and choices, which resulted in a spectacular final design. They maintain daily communication with us throughout the project. KM uses the Builder Trend app, which provides access to photos, documents, and change orders. Every project has unanticipated issues. What puts KM above average was their ability to overcome challenges and deliver the final product as designed. The original painter team did a mediocre job. The KM paint manager was dissatisfied, replaced the crew, and re-accomplished the interior paint job, which looks fantastic. I highly recommend them.
Yeah, sometimes we have to do that. And they were very, very great clients. The Ferrises.
They are so sweet.
It was a lot of fun. They have a little fun demo day.
Yeah, that's on YouTube if you just look at the demo day with the couple.
The one that has
Them.
the couple on it is the Ferris. So they're
Yeah.
just a great, fun couple. Very, very good taste and a beautiful project. And so, yeah, all the other thing I wanted to mention is the Builder Trend, which they mentioned we use. We also use it so that you can see the entire schedule laid out ahead of time, so you know what's coming up, and you can get to see it like on a Gantt chart.
Mm-hmm. And for clients that work during the day like they do, they were able to log in and see the pictures as they were uploaded while people were working.
That's right.
So that's really
Right.
nice.
Mhm. So most of our clients do work, both of them,
Mhm.
and so this is a very useful tool. Communication using modern technology can really assist with people feeling a lot more comfortable And of course, it makes us a lot more efficient, which also makes clients happier.
Yes.
Again, you can call us at 737-1200. We are going to talk a little bit now about tips for small bathrooms. And the first one that I mentioned is one that if you have a tub, which most small bathrooms have a tub, one of the most common things to do, one of the best things you can do to make it feel bigger and more spacious is open it up and make it a shower. It's probably the most single expensive thing you can do, but it's probably the most beautiful thing that you can do to your guest bathroom or your hall bathroom or your Jack and Jill bathroom is to put a shower in. Of course, this is what people do in their masters also. But in a guest bathroom, it really makes a huge transformation. Then you're putting in maybe a half wall of glass and a full glass door. It just really is sharp. Now, a lot of people don't realize that a shower is going to make it bigger than a tub, because a tub has a thick wall on it that comes back in. It curves at the bottom. You don't get much space out of it. So if we're talking about making the most out of a guest bath or small bath, then getting the most space out of your shower, your tub area, would be a nice way to start. And that makes the footprint bigger.
Yeah,
and in
it
many,
turns it into an extension of the bathroom.
yeah, and if you don't even have to put a curb, if we can do it with no curb, that glass is much thinner. And if anybody's watching, I mean, we're talking 5.5 inches at the bottom of where it curves to the outside. At the top, it's about 3.5 to 4, but it goes about 5.5 inches. So you have a little bitty space of about 16 inches that you can walk in without skidding onto the curved area of your tub. Maybe 18 inches, 16 to 18 inches. That's not a lot of walking space, and it's why people slip and fall. But when you take it out, you can go wall to wall with your tub, and those walls are square, and they open up the space at the bottom. If you put glass, the glass is thin. It doesn't take up much space. So you're actually making it a bigger area. And when you put glass on it, it's also showing that bigger area. It makes it feel even bigger instead of a wall being there. And so another thing that a lot of people don't know is that they've got a little extra room. Once you take out the tub, you can actually make the shower even bigger. The requirement is for you to have 15 inches from the center of the toilet to that wall. And so whatever that wall might be, it could be a glass wall. But 15 inches is usually less than what you have right now. And a lot of times people feel just fine with going to that 15 inches, getting it closer to that toilet if it's a glass wall. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. And what you get out of that, you get a nice sized shower out of it. So that's my number one tip on making a small bathroom feel bigger and more modern. It's definitely a hot reseller. I kid you not, it is the number one requested project
for sure.
of any bathroom. For any bathroom, it's just something we consider all the time. And so,
and then also doing that also helps with aging.
Yeah, if people need to get around in better, a tub is not the way to go. So the older we get, the more disabilities we have, any weaknesses, any injuries, a shower is going to be way better, easier to access. You can put grab bars, you can get in comfortably, you can make the openings wider. There's just so many things you can do with that. Thank you for pointing that out. The second tip is about storage. When you want to get the most out of a small bathroom, we can do a lot of things that a lot of people don't realize. First of all, we can raise your vanities. Most everybody that's at least 5 feet tall likes taller vanities. They may not know it yet, but they would really like them if they tried them out. And everybody who tries them typically loves them.
Because standard, they're pretty short, huh?
Yeah, they're short. So you raise those vanities up taller and get you some deeper cabinets too. Those go 2 inches deeper and you can put bigger sinks in there. You have more countertop space. And we're also able to raise those doors that are down below. Usually you have a little panel below the sink because you can't, you have a sink there, so they don't want you to put a drawer. You can't put a drawer there. But what we do is we build the cabinet with the doors up higher. What that does is that raises that bottom shelf in that cabinet. That bottom shelf that's so low that usually, tallest thing is a bottle of tall shampoo. It raises it up off the floor. Now you can reach that easier. Even though you have taller cabinets, you've just raised the floor of the cabinet up higher so you can reach it easier. Okay, what does that do to gain storage? Well, nothing really. But it does below that shelf. Now that you've raised it, we can put another drawer below that shelf. So that empty space that's at the top of a cabinet, that's worthless, is now taken up by moving all those short items up, making them easier to reach, and then regaining that space below the doors. And so we gain a cabinet, we gain a full drawer there, in addition to any other reconfiguration that we might want to do. I'm just gonna finish this subject of storage there. You can extend countertops, even over toilets, to gain a little more storage there also. You can extend the countertop, not just over the vanities, and if you want bigger vanities, we might be able to get you that. But it also allows for that countertop to go over the toilet and create maybe a little cubby, a little storage area there, maybe for a candle, maybe for artwork, maybe for some extra toilet paper holder, something like that. But there's really good storage available there. A Johnny Wall cabinet goes above a toilet, and that's another area that's completely out of the way,
That's
and you
like
can
what I have.
gain storage. Some people don't have a linen closet in that one, but that serves for a nice place for linens or extra merchandise you may need to put in there. So these are some ways you can get more out of a small bathroom. We're gonna consider some other tips on small bathrooms. When we get back, we're gonna mention our sponsor who's been with us for a while, Truly Nolan Pest Control. Give them a call at 800-468-7859. Truly Nolan did it for me. They can do it for you. Look them up at trulynolan.com. And we'll be right back to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show. Jared excited about the Patriots this year?
Yeah,
What good changes? You see some good things happening?
I guess.
Cowboys keep injuring themselves in the
I know, I've heard that. I'm like, it's just preseason, guys. Why are you playing so hard?
I got sunshade.
Yeah. Right on your windshield. It's pretty funny.
Which doesn't have tint on it, so that's the one that needed the shade. That actually looks pretty good. That's gonna lower the temperature a few degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to park under the shade of those trees because they just sap.
Oh,
They like sap. Where you park,
I guess.
I've noticed it before.
You park funny.
Next time I'll park even funnier because I'm gonna park over there.
It has moved so much, Dad. You're not
No, it
gonna.
hasn't.
Oh, yes, it has.
That only moved about a foot since we looked at it
I don't
last time.
think so. When I got here, it was like a foot from your edge of your car, from the nose of your car.
Which one? That one? The
The
big
big
shade, the big
shade.
shade spot?
Yes. You're not gonna get it.
It'll go from front to back, from back to front. If I were to park the same way, it would go from the back and then line up over the front. That'd be just fine.
Why don't you just get shade? So sure.
I do have one.
Why don't you just use that?
I actually forgot to do that, but I was trying to, I would do both.
Think-
You can do that.
Do we still, yeah, I guess, since,
Can we skip it?
yeah, we can skip
I
it.
want to finish this.
That's what I figured we were gonna do since they,
Okay.
tired.
Welcome back to the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show. I'm Keith Moehle along with Morgan, and that's my daughter Morgan with me.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
And you can join us live at Facebook,
Facebook.
Instagram, and YouTube.
Yep, just search KM Builders and you'll find us.
And we appreciate all of y'all that have logged on and watched us for many weeks, and for sharing the whole program that we do with your friends and neighbors. And if you can recommend us on Nextdoor or somewhere, we appreciate that. We've gotten some good recommendations from some of you listening, and it's really appreciated. And we are going to do a great job and make sure that you're happy, like so many others who've given us so many compliments. And it is really fun to be in this business with a great team like I have that just really takes care of you. And I want to talk a little bit more about small bathroom tips, but remind you that you can still call in at 737-1200 and give us a call, give us a question, and we'd love to answer it. Thank you for those calls today. Small bathroom tips, we talked about, real quickly, we talked about converting a tub to a shower. It's still the #1 requested project. Everybody wants it. Do not worry about resale on doing that one. Everybody wants it, and they'd love to have you do it for them before they buy your home. And so you can make it larger, make it feel bigger, put some glass. And by the way, you know, opening up with glass versus shower curtains versus anything that lets light pass through or reflects light, like large mirrors, even shiny things in the bathroom, they reflect. And that actually makes everything feel bigger. So that's a great tip for bathrooms, small bathrooms. Get as much light moving back and forth, don't block it off. Sometimes you have a shower wall that you feel like you need, well, cut a hole in it and let the light pass through. The water is gonna go down, it's not gonna go up that high above your head, but you can get light passing through. Maybe it's a structural wall, you don't wanna pay to have that taken out, but you can cut a hole in it and it'll actually make light pass through. It can also tend to ventilate better, and that's another big plus. Ventilation is important in all bathrooms, so anytime you can open up and keep the air moving around and getting to that little fan, don't be afraid to upgrade that fan. In most cases, they do need upgrading. If you can hold like a 3 or 4 layer sections of toilet paper, and that fan, and you hold it up to it, stand on a little ladder, put it up there, and if it holds it up there, then it's probably okay. If it falls, it's not a strong enough fan. Just a little home test you can do there. Another thing that is a really good tip for small bathrooms is redoing the openings. Almost always the door openings open into the bathroom. They take up valuable space. Sometimes you get these horrible combinations where the shower door or the closet door and the main door, or all 3 of them are actually opening into the same space.
Yes.
And people hate it. I know I met someone yesterday, Janet, that said she really hated it, and she said it's aggravated her all of her life. So we can fix these things
I have 4 doors.
that do that in a bathroom. And so I know you love barn doors, so a barn door that may be on the bedroom side,
Nice.
and you can even slide a barn door behind furniture, behind a bed. It can slide right behind it. So you're not really losing wall space with a barn door. Of course, if you go with a pocket door, you lose no wall space at all. That goes into a pocket, and you can still put furniture or cabinets on either side. And you can actually do some plumbing and wiring. People think you can't, but you can. It just depends on how it's done. Professionals can do that, amateurs can't. So if they say you can't be done, then they must be an amateur.
But a lot of people are doing the barn doors DIY.
It really looks nice. And that's a pretty simple thing to do. You do have to use the right anchors, and you do have to make sure you don't hit other things in the wall. But another simple solution is split doors, where you take the same size door, and sometimes a little bit bigger. You widen that door to make it more comfortable, but you split it into 2 leaves. And so you can open them on the other side of the wall now because you're only losing half of that space on the wall. So, you know, instead of like a 36-inch door, let's say you have a 32-inch door, well, let's widen that to 36 or 40 inches, and you're only gonna have 18 to 20-inch door flipping around. And past your trim, it's really only going to be about 14 inches past your trim. So in some cases, a foot to 14 inches past the trim, and you can open those. And many times you'll only open one half.
Nice.
But these are just some really good ideas of how to gain more space in bathrooms. We've got a lot more that we can share with you. If you'd like to learn more, you can log on to kmbuilders.com. You'll find a lot of tips. We encourage you also to join our weekly newsletter, friends@kmbuilders.com. And we can send you tips like this that we send to all of our friends in the remodeling world, all of you clients and repeat clients and their friends. And you can also give us a call at 210-680-5626. You've just heard the KM Builders Remodeling and Design Show. We're in our 15th year of doing this and serving San Antonio. We appreciate all of the referrals and all the business you've brought us. And I would love to come meet you with a free consultation, no matter what you need, from roofing to foundation work, repair, siding, windows, remodeling of all kinds. Make a 1-story or 2-story. Give us a call at KM Builders, 680-5626. That's 680-KMCO. And remember, you could have someone else remodel your home, but then you'd have to live in it.
The proceeding has been
So we have a question on Facebook just now.